the streets of Detroit.
What up, though? This is your man Nick Speed, right in front of where I made history, man. 3773 Second and Sheldon. You already know I made that Danny Brown, that hot soup, that 50 Cent out of there. Bunch of classics. We right here with Theorematic, baby. Right in the hood. Let's do it. Actually, DJing might have been my first interest because I was actually the youngest on-air radio host in America at 4 years old in Washington, D.C. As a part of a show called Jump To It on, WPFW. You know what I'm saying? It was like, ran through like Children's Museum, and I was the youngest, person to be in the program. So like they actually, I just found this out recently, but they actually used my edits. They had me editing the actual radio show and everything at 4 years old. You know what I mean? And then actually, my dad comes from a radio background as well as a writing background. He actually worked for BET, Video Soul with Donnie Simpson. He actually wrote and produced that show, which is the first, national show dedicated to African-American music video. And at that time, MTV wasn't even showing black videos. You know what I mean? So later on, when I grew up, I actually understood that my dad made history and changed the world. You know what I'm saying? So after, so much, it kind of let me know that I needed to do something great. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it is. So like I said, I was interested in DJing first just off of the radio background. And I started rapping maybe 8th and 9th grade. I started taking it seriously in 9th grade. And then we formed a rap group called 9 to 5 Colony. And that included Majestic Legend, and eventually it included Elzhi. I remember actually trying to purchase a beat from some people or whatever. First beat we trying to buy, first couple beats. And I remember there was tags. So I was like, man, hold on, man. I know where some of these sounds is or whatever. I just figured that the price of a couple of their beats would have been the price of the equipment to make the beats. So we just decided man, why don't we just learn how to make beats then? Because if we spend the amount for these 1 and 2 beats, or really that one song would have been the price of the actual equipment to make the music. So we just got motivated and was like, well, shoot, we can learn that. We were so young, we knew we could learn it. You know what I'm saying? So me and Majestic Legend started going over House Shoes House, making tracks. And then eventually we bought our own MPC, 2000 XL, early 2000s. And just got to work, man. Well, you know what, man? As a producer, I feel like one of the definitions of that is you're responsible for the final product. You know what I'm saying? That's what a producer really is to me. You know what I mean? So I try to make sure, that I like the song. I want to love the song every time, of course. Because, I probably love my part, you know what I'm saying? But I want to have somebody to compliment and match that or add to, you know what I'm saying? And that's one of the greatest things about collaborating. Because, I collaborate with musicians. I collaborate with, different artists, vocalists and rappers and singers and flute players and, you know what I mean? All type of stuff, So, yeah, man, I think sometimes it's important to just let the artist be an artist and do whatever they do. You know what I'm saying? So I like to let them get their idea out first. Even though I might have an idea in my head, I want to see what they come up with first. And then I'll actually start bringing my ideas in. Because I want them to have a free mind and just be able to just do whatever they were thinking about. And, that's why a lot of people like working with me, because it's not that pressure of no, you know what I mean? Because sometimes it's perfect like that. You know what I'm saying? you know, some of the imperfections are some of the best things about a song. You know what I'm saying? Because like that's the part you'll notice. Like, man, he didn't even care right there. Some of the best verses that was laid to my music, man, probably Street Lord Wine was like one of them for sure. And like, I was, you know, before I met Street Lord Wine, I just had heard the Blade Icewood music, and you know, I kind of was thinking like maybe he might be a certain kind of way. I mean, even when you meet people like 50 Cent, you're already thinking like, oh man, he might be like a mean guy, or like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to piss him off, and you know what I'm saying? And then you get around these guys, and they're like highly intelligent, they're really incredible people. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, wow. And then they end up making some of the best music with you. You know what I mean? So I love that. But Street Lord Wine is one of the people. Danny Brown for sure. 50 Cent most definitely. Talib definitely. Seven in general most definitely. I mean, actually, man, I work with so many people that like a lot of people laid like perfect songs to them. You know, to me, like, even like 50 Cent with If, to me, he was expressing probably how I felt. You know what I'm saying? I watch the sun go up and go down, thinking what if? You know, like, what it, basically saying like, what if I got on, you know, what if I got on? You know, how could I change the world? And that was my first beat to the world, so that is exactly how I felt. You know what I'm saying? I felt like, what if I make it? What would I do? You know what I'm saying? How could I change the world? And that's basically, you know, what that song was about. And I was just like, wow, that was like the perfect song to, you know, what I did and how I was really feeling. I was like, wow, how did he know that? Streets of Detroit alone, I made Streets of Detroit in the apartment 6A right behind us. And I just remember like when I first listened to it, I had like the headphones, little earbuds in, I would just walk down the street. I was like, man, this really sounds like what I'm looking at right here. You know what I'm saying? And then going from there, Al Prophet actually used it in this DVD called Rollin', which is like a Detroit classic, like that's a Detroit classic street DVD. Used to get it at the gas station and all that. Like everybody know this DVD. But he actually used Streets of Detroit on there. And man, it was great, man. It just went worldwide. And, I mean, it was even bigger than ever. And Streets of Detroit since then has been licensed for up to about 10 films. Every time they do a Detroit documentary, they always use Streets of Detroit. So that is an incredible blessing. I remember I was trying to get a Kretske grant, and that's why I made that music video. I just made a music video to the instrumental, and that's what Al Prophet put on the DVD. And from there, I swear, it's been incredible. Like, even Michael Bolton used the Streets of Detroit in his Detroit documentary. You know what I mean? Vice, you know, so many Resident Advisor, I mean, worldwide ones. You know what I mean? They just like, I guess, look up Detroit songs or Detroit music. And since I actually used, you know, Detroit in my title, you know, it actually just worked out. It looked like, oh, it's an instrumental. Yeah, this is the essence, you know, of what Detroit is. They want to show like, you know, all of this good footage of, you know, what's going on out here. And they always end up using that. And man, that's a blessing. So when you talk about licensing to movies, actually, I just scored the main movie for the Free Press Film Festival. It just sold out to Fillmore, I think, like a week and a half ago. It's called 12th and Claremont. And it was a sold out show at the Fillmore just for everybody to watch this one movie that I scored. You know what I'm saying? So I was like happy about that. I'm like, wow, we sold out to Fillmore. Like, you know, they had me like stand up and like wave my hand. But that was cool though, you know what I'm saying? Like, my name was on the poster. I gotta get one of the posters too. touring a couple movies. I got another movie coming out called Glaze, and it's actually directed by my man Michael Castellez, and he's a new director, but it's just like a little 15-minute short story about like how we came up trying to meet Jay Dilla in the hip hop scene. It's kind of like our little mini 8 Mile, you know what I'm saying? Because we didn't necessarily grow up in the 8 Mile, you know, like time with Eminem, but we was fans of it as kids, and then like, you know, grew into what we grew into, being inspired by them, you know what I'm saying? But so it's kind of like about like almost like trying to do anything to be down, you know, at the age of 15 and 16, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get in the scene, like we carrying the DJ's equipment, you know, to the club, and, you know, he tried to send us on a mission, and, you know, really the mission was to go get some weed. We never did a drug deal in our life. So we going over here like, chocolate tie, like what is that? Some kind of good chocolate? Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what the movie is about. Shout out my man Flex Bands and you know, Vince. They played a good role. You know, they played us when we was young, and we was trying to meet Dilla, and you know, it's basically about kids doing, you know, dumb things for dumb reasons, and then, you know, all you had to do was be yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's the moral of the story. Is like, you didn't even have to do all that. All you had to do was just, you know, be yourself and do you, and then they would have accepted you anyway. You know, and follow your dreams too. That's another part of it. My real name is Nick Speed. Everybody doesn't know that. Everybody's like, so what is your real name? Nick Speed. Nicholas Speed. That's my name. Yeah, man. So that's how I know I was born to do this.